Hey, what's up? This is Mattie Montgomery with the band For Today, and you're on Rock Forever Magazine. Zine.
Hey guys, it's Tori from Rock Forever Magazine, and I'm here with Matty from For Today.
That's me. Hi.
That's him. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Been hanging at Orlando Warped Tour. How's it treating you?
It's treating me good. It's hot in Orlando, but the people are cool, so it balances it out.
I mean, obviously. Look at us.
Right, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And we want to make this a fun interview, but we got to get down to business a little bit, because I got a serious question.
Serious.
Okay, if you had to come up with a mission statement of what you want to accomplish through your music, what would it be?
Reach as many people as possible for Christ.
Yeah. So it's a good thing you're on main stage this year.
It is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was talking with one of the other guys in another band on the tour who's not a Christian band by any means, and I said, you know, I see so many hopeless kids at our shows, in our scene, on the internet, out walking around Warped Tour, and I just want to offer them something to help, you know, and I know that there was a time in my life when I was hopeless, and there was a time in my life when I was suicidal, and there was a time in my life when I was addicted, and when I was dealing with clinical depression, and getting a bunch of drugs from, you know, psychiatrists and whatever, but well, the thing that changed it all was when I found Jesus, and so I don't if I found the cure for hopelessness in Christ, I don't want to keep that a secret, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's about hope, man. I just want to see these kids come to Warped Tour and leave with something that maybe could save their life.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's so amazing that you guys have such a relatable message that really anybody could use a little hope at any point.
That's right.
So the music's for everybody, really.
Yeah.
And you released your album Fight the Silence not too long ago.
Yeah.
And how does this album compare to your previous releases? Why is this one different?
It's like way worse than the rest of our albums.
I mean, just going downhill from
here. Yeah, our newest album sucks. Don't even. Does anyone even say that?
No.
No, it's
never.
Great. It's the best album we've ever done. I know that every band says that about their newest record, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's the truth. Also, I mean, if we're talking serious, if we're getting down to business, it's the greatest album ever released by any band ever. And if you don't believe me, just buy it on iTunes and see for yourself. And then if you don't like it, too bad, you already bought it, and I'm going to use that money to feed my babiys. So
hey, at least it's going to a good cause, right?
Yeah, right.
At the very least, it's going to a good cause.
I got two kids. I got two sons that they have big bellies and they're growing fast. So
yeah,
buy an album. I'm just kidding. I really like this album. It's like
I like it too.
More than any other record we've ever done. I poured my heart and soul into the lyrics of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, more than once, I sat in front of my notepad with tears running down my face writing this record. It really was a very important record for me to be able to write lyrically, and I think musically it's also the best work we've ever done. So if people have followed For Today for years, I think they'll like it, and if they've never heard of us, I hope they'll like it.
Yeah, I think they will. It's an amazing album for sure. You heard it here. Woo! Okay. And speaking of the lyrical content, you've covered a wide range of topics on this album, from society to personal struggles. So what motivates you to share these stories and write these kind of lyrics?
I just ran out of other stuff to write about.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. I've said this for years. I think that people with a platform have a responsibility for what they do with that platform.
Yes.
And tragically, many people on even the Vans Warped Tour don't share that same philosophy, and so they have the attention of thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of young people, and all they're doing with it is trying to make some money and get famous, and that sucks, you know. And so I want to be intentional about the way that I impact the lives of the people around me. And so, you know, if we're going to write an album, I want to write about stuff that matters and stuff that you know, stuff that is really going on in our world, and hopefully try to offer an answer or a solution for some of the problems that our generation is being faced with.
Yeah. I think it's great, though, that you are writing things with a purpose. You know, you're not just writing some party songs or something like that, not taking the easy way out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not to name any names or anything.
You know, not to name names. Just some people on the tour. No,
I'm just who we're talking about.
Okay, now we're going too far.
You know who you are.
We're watching you. There it is.
that serious?
That was so
That was real
serious.
serious.
I was actually scared for a second.
All
I was
right.
like, I think I need to run. No.
Okay. You can like put that in slow motion
Can we?
later in post-production.
I'm doing that.
Sick, good.
Slow-mo.
Yeah.
And there is a track on the album called Break the Cycle, which features Matty from Memphis May Fire,
Yeah.
the two Matties. How did that collaboration come about, and what was it like getting to work with him?
Well, he actually is my cousin, and we first met when we were literally 6 days. Well, when I was literally 6 days old. He's a little older than me, and so we like grew up together, and we used to try to play in bands when we were like little kids together. But I always wanted to be the front man, and he also always wanted to be the front man, and so we used to like fight about it. So when we got older, we each started our own band, and then we decided that we would bury the hatchet when we turned 26, and we would record a song together. That's what Break the Cycle is.
Quite a long history there.
Yeah, we go way back.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
And one standout track on the album is called A Call to Arms. What's the story behind that one?
That song is about poverty. You know, while I was writing the record, I was looking at pictures of, I don't know, some missionaries or a photographer somebody took in a third world country, and it said, and in one of the pictures I saw some graffiti on a wall, like a broken down, torn down wall, just garbage all over, with like a person sleeping in front of it, and it said, where you have poverty, you have violence. And I just sort of got to thinking, like, you know, 99% of the violence in the world is a direct result of desperation, of poverty, and because people are desperately trying to survive, they're unfortunately taking advantage of other people in the process, you know, and I'm not in any way condoning or justifying violence, but I am saying that, you know, maybe there is an explanation for it, and that maybe if we could find a way to like take care of the poor, or even to just notice them, instead of just ignoring them and pretending like everything in the whole world is okay, that we might see the world as a whole become a better place, instead of just our bank account here in the United States get bigger, you know?
Yeah. And your first EP was released in 2006, and I mean, your music has evolved a lot since then, thinking back. So when you listen to those earliest releases now, what sort of memories come to mind?
I remember they actually wrote that before I joined the band. They wrote that stuff. So some of the lyrics are like, wow, these lyrics totally suck. And
then you joined.
And then I joined and just started singing these lyrics that were already written that I thought totally sucked. So I remember some embarrassing moments playing those songs in front of a person, you know, maybe two people, like one venue staff person, hoping that they're into it because nobody else showed up to the show, you know. I remember playing a lot of shows to basically no one, which is like, you got to pay your dues, you know. That's the stuff that's the stuff that makes you really appreciate this, you know. If we started off on the main stage at Warped Tour, you know, I don't think I would appreciate it nearly as much as I do now, you know, because we played a lot of embarrassingly small shows. So it's cool to sort of see the contrast between where we are now versus where we were 6, 7, 8 years ago, because there is a very big difference.
Definitely. You have come a long way. I remember seeing you guys in St. Pete, and the crowd was just massive, and they were totally into it. So it's awesome that you're getting the word out about hope to everyone.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the biggest misconception about the band that you'd like to clear up?
I think that a lot of people assume that because we're a Christian band, that means that we are a band only for Christians, which sucks. Like, some of my best friends in the world are not Christians. You know, dudes who are hanging out on this tour, the guys in Motionless in White are good friends of ours. You know, the guys in the band Bad Rabbits are good friends of ours. You know, there's a lot of bands on this tour that have a lot of very diverse beliefs, that we are still able to find sort of common ground in that we're all humans, and at the end of the day, we're all in this thing called life together. So we get a lot of people that are like, well, I don't know, man, their music's pretty cool, but I'm an atheist, so I don't want to go see their show, or whatever. And it's like, I would hope that our goal is to make music that is good enough that even people who totally disagree with everything I stand for can say, well, I like the music, these guys put on a good show, I'm gonna go check it out. And to find a way to be sort of mutually respectful, even if we don't agree on everything. I think it's important that we learn to respect each other and honor each other, even in our disagreements. So, I'm a Christian band. I'm a Christian front man of a Christian band, and I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say that. But I would also hope that people who maybe aren't Christians or maybe disagree with some of the things that I believe would still be able to find something in the music or something in the message that they can relate to and support. We're very much not a band for Christians. We're a band of Christians, for anybody that'll listen.
Yes. I mean, there's no reason to single anybody out. You can even see here at Warped Tour, we're all in this together, right. So it's great. Music's for everyone. And here at Warped Tour, there are quite a lot of distractions. It's known as a partying scene. But somehow you guys are always staying in line, focused on your music. So how do you handle that?
None of us really even want to get drunk, Yeah. I mean, we've all, no, I was going to say we've all been drunk. I can't say that for everybody. I have been drunk my fair share of times, and it's not cool. I don't even like the taste of alcohol, So I'm not really worried about. It's not like a big temptation for me to go grab a beer because I think beer is disgusting.
That makes it easy.
Yeah, which makes it very easy. But also, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not here just trying to make money, or we're not here just trying to make friends or get popular. We're here for a very specific reason. Like I said at the beginning, and that is to reach people for the sake of Christ. And so, when we're faced with the opportunity to, go get drunk or hook up with some girl after the show or whatever, the reason that we don't do that stuff is not because we're, afraid of it or because we're scared it's dirty or whatever. It's because we have a job to do, and that's not it, So, as much as people spend a lot of time doing that stuff, I think that it's because they just haven't found what they're here for yet. They're just killing time, And so, because we've been blessed enough to find that, I can speak for every dude in my band when I say we don't have the need or the desire to waste our time chasing that stuff.
Good. And your music is very powerful, and you've had the opportunity to impact a lot of your fans who you're meeting here at Warped Tour every day. So what has been your most memorable fan experience of the tour thus far?
I had a girl walk up to me in LA right after our set. We got done and went over to do a signing immediately. And she came up and she held her arm out and she had just open wounds, cuts all the way up her arm. And she said, I heard what you said on that stage, and it just changed me. And she said, I promise you, the next time I see you, these cuts will only be scars. She said, I'm done cutting forever. And that just hit me like a ton of bricks. It's easy to stand up on stage and say something to a sea of sort of ambiguous people who I don't know, and I don't know what they're struggling with, but to see real people getting their real lives really impacted that's the stuff that's what I live for. That's why we come here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Warped Tour is ending soon, so what are your plans for right after this? What's coming up for you guys?
I'm gonna go home and slip into a coma. For 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just gonna hibernate for a while.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get in the air conditioning and take a shower. Actually, I'm gonna go home. We have about 6 weeks off. We're gonna spend that time with my wife and our little boys, and then we leave for a tour with We Came as Romans and the Color Morale in September.
Amazing.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we'll go home and start gearing up for that, and I'll spend some time with my family. It'll be good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. It has been awesome talking to you.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, and everybody watching, make sure you check out their new album. You can get it on iTunes now. Subscribe for more interviews, and I'll see you next time. Bye.